Hello, welcome back to part 3 of School Stories. We hope you enjoyed this video as we continue a lot of more of our embarrassing stories. Enjoy! Do you guys want to talk
Embarrassing
about
moments.
the old friends you've made
Oh,
during
I
school?
I
Yeah.
guess so, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mentioned that girl that shouted that I had a diary in my hands.
Oh,
Um, yeah, she did a lot of weird things, and this goes into high school and even beyond high school when
yeah.
I like finally had enough. That's like the first thing is that she usually I'd keep walking, but she lived down the same street as another of our friends, and usually I would just keep walking onto my house. But because this other friend was walking with us, I thought, okay, you know what? I'll walk down with both of them.
Yeah.
And then she freaked out and she like
Oh,
pulled up this stick and hit me across the face
wow, what the
and
heck?
Why?
cut out a spot beside my eye because she was like, I you never want to walk this way with me, and she just lost it. And me being who I am, I ended up forgiving her, but she ended up
Oh,
doing other messed up things. The most recent was that she's the one that I mentioned pulled almost pulled me into a pyramid scheme.
oh yeah.
Oh,
You did tell me about that in,
So
at school.
after that, I like haven't talked to her since. So
oh
I
my
was just
gosh.
like, okay, I've had enough of this.
Oh my gosh. When you talk about that, it reminded me of an old friend I had. This might be a really big arc, but bear
Mm.
with me. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
from I'm gonna have to start from the very beginning because I was if you didn't know, I moved to the great country of the moose in a couple like when I was in grade 4, and I was the awkward kid who didn't know anyone, and so I was
Mm.
put into there was a group project when we're talking about owls. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't understand the context, but anyways, you're put into, and I didn't know anyone, and I felt awkward, and then so the teacher put me up with this girl we're gonna call Winter. So Winter and
Mhm.
we were like hitting off great, and then there was the point where we had to pick the owl that we have to like choose, right? And so
Mhm.
we wanted to do and at least Winter wanted to do the snow owl. You know what I'm talking about, right? And then but someone else wanted to do it, and they got to get it, and she complained to like the teacher and the group about it, and I didn't know that was like a red flag back then. So, and I thought nothing of it because I'm just a new kid.
Mm.
And so we ended up doing like a different owl, and then after that we became like friends, and we were both part of the owl cast. We could understand each other because everyone else doesn't understand who we are inside. And
Mm.
so, and in the years I didn't like see it at first, that I didn't know that she was like changing. And so it was like, okay, back to the outdoor school. So remember when I said that I sprained my ankle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so all the guys were talking to me and being nice, which really confused me a lot. And then one of the guys was the transfer student. This was years ago, by the way. This was a
Mm.
transfer student who transferred here. Good transition. But uh so, and then there was a dance in our outdoor school, and out of the girls that he chose, he danced with literally almost every other girl.
Oh.
But my friend Winter wanted to dance with it, even though she kind of like love hate him. You know how it is.
Love hate him.
Yeah. And then so what he did, he ended up asking me to dance, even though I can barely stand up straight. And he said, "Don't worry, I'll go slow." And my friend, got so mad at me
Oh
for
my god, that's
being
stupid.
picked, and I
That's so
felt bad.
stupid.
I felt bad that like I got picked, and I didn't even like him, and I knew
Yeah.
she liked him, and I knew that, but then I didn't expect him to pick me, so that
I don't
was
know.
like a problem. But he even offered to dance with her instead, and she was like, "I don't need your pity," and she got
What?
angry about it,
Oh.
That's
and
so
we were both like
confusing.
confused, and we ended up dancing anyways because like she was having that mood. and I
Yeah,
didn't think
she's
of it
super busy.
because I thought of her as a good friend, and we were good friends. But then in high school, something changed, and oh gosh, I'm gonna be revealing a lot of things. In high school, it wasn't any different because I was also again a social, basically like a social outcast, but I was at least nice to people. And
Uh,
Winter, she also didn't like the social people as much. But okay, here's the difference between me and her. And so I was hanging out with the Filipino like area because every school has that area where it's the one culture. I don't know if
oh,
you've had that before
I mean,
in school.
yeah, same.
But
Well, kind of.
anyways,
Actually, I was like stuck in the mini. I don't really have that uh, Filipino group. I'm
yeah.
like I was in like an all almost all white
Oh yeah,
all white
totally.
school because I was in the West Coast or East Coast. Which one's the richer coast?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
but I don't know anymore. But yeah, yeah, I never got to
Yeah. I was
hang out with
lucky
my crowd.
I was lucky enough in the Filipino area that they were really nice to me, and they
Uh,
would let me sit even though I couldn't like add anything to the conversation. They were really nice about it. So,
yeah,
but
that's
then
good.
while I was eating my lunch with the other like people, I saw Winter. We don't hang out as much
Mm,
anymore, sadly, in high school. Um, I saw Winter walking, and
okay.
and then one of the social girls came to say hi to her. But then you know what she did? She didn't do the say hi back, wave, smile
Did
or
she
anything.
ignore
You know what
you?
she did?
What?
She turned around and flipped her. Like she pulled her middle finger at her.
Oh.
Wow,
And
what
it
the
was
heck?
so and I was
That's
like
confusing.
shocked. And I was like, "Winter, what are you doing?" I didn't say that really. I just like was that shocked. And I'm like and then the girls were also shocked and then she just walked and Winter just walked away and I'm like, "Bruh,
I guess she had
what?"
problems. Well, I don't know what those are, but yeah, that wow.
Oh my
No.
gosh. It was so like it was out of the blue too. I'm just like, "Oh my gosh." Like I didn't like the social people either, but I was at least like nice. I was
Hmm.
like somewhat decent and said like hi or like smiled or waved cuz I didn't want to be rude that much, but she took it too
Hmm.
far, you know?
Uh,
And the worst thing was I want to mention that in high school my mom also worked at the same high school as me. Ooh, it's so embarrassing, blah blah blah. But the worst thing was, okay, she did it in front of my mother's office
uh,
along with the guidance counselor. She was lucky
Oh.
that nobody saw. She's lucky nobody saw that. But like it was also like an inch closer to the principal's office too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Winter, why? But my gosh, every time I think of like, I don't know what was going inside her head when she did that, but after that she walked away. I was like so shocked, and I didn't ask her about it obviously because like we weren't hanging out as much anymore. And then something bad happened. Sorry, this is really long, but
yeah.
so it was our graduate year, and every year for the graduates of my high school specifically, we had to play this game. And for
Mm,
some reason, this was kept until a tradition until later in years where the principal asked to stop. But this wasn't my generation's year when
uh,
they asked us to stop. So we had this thing where it was like manhunt. Do you guys know what manhunt is?
Is that like where one person starts out as the it person and then when they tag everybody else, they're it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, it's kind of like that, but it's to an extreme. So here's the thing. So the game requires you to pay a fee, which is
mhm.
$20,
Oh.
and whoever is the last one not to be tagged wins the whole pot. Simple,
Okay.
right?
Oh.
But here's the thing. Here's the big thing. In my school, they went to an extreme for when you get tagged. So
What?
when you get tagged, the penalty is that you have to strip down to your underwear.
Oh.
And it didn't matter if it was at school or no, actually they did make a rule for not you cannot be in school when you do that. You have to be outside of school, which is the worst thing ever.
Oh my
Um
god.
but so the penalty and then so like I remember one time when heard that a girl in my grade she got tagged in the middle of pedestrian walk and she just took off her clothes right there and there
Oh
while the
my
cars are
god.
waiting to like move and we're just like what. It was like
Oh
anyway.
my
So
god.
back to the whole thing, and this is don't worry, it's relating to it's gonna lead up to winter. So what happened was apparently one day I didn't play because I didn't want to play the
Hmm.
game anyways. So anyways, one day, um, so I got a knock from my door for because I was alone at home, and
Hmm.
so Winter's father came to my house, and I knew her dad because like I used to go to Winter's house a lot when we were in elementary, and he knew me, and he asked me what's happening at school because I was confused because like every I was confused about it because like he just came to my house and just asked me questions.
What?
Because apparently, so what he told me
What?
is that the kids who were playing the game, she
Uh-huh.
cornered her in a forest and they were peer pressuring her to take off her clothes. And Winter did not want to, even though those were the penalty rules.
Uh-huh.
And she ended up not doing it. And she ended up apparently going to her house crying. And
Uh,
I was like shocked because like I told her dad this is the first time I'm hearing about this, honestly, because this was a weekend
uh,
and I wasn't in school, so I wouldn't know about it right away.
hmm.
And then so he asked me about it, and so what happened was that he asked me questions about like what was going on at school, what this game everyone else is playing, and he just like and I was honest. I was sort of honest. Well, I didn't tell him the whole
Hmm.
truth, like how you have to pay a fee and blah blah blah, all that, and because he wondered because apparently
Pulled twice?
she played twice, so she lost basically $40 in that whole
Okay.
pot, and then she was complaining about it, and her dad was like really he looked really pissed off about like the whole thing, but he didn't
Hmm.
like he was on like obviously he was glad that I told him, but yeah, I don't know when that happened. Like it was like kind of like really weird that it happened because like her dad just came out of nowhere to ask me questions because I felt bad because like he thought that me and her were still like friends, like we're
Oh
somewhat
yeah, I
friends,
guess so.
like we talk sometimes but we're not that close anymore. But yeah,
Hmm.
it was like I don't know, it was a very like weird road with Winter with my friend Winter because after high school graduate we barely talked. We didn't even talk at all sometimes. Like I said
Hmm.
hi to her once, but after that we didn't talk. But yeah, that was the story of Winter, my friend who I had red flags, but I still was friends with her for some reason.
Hmm.
Like I didn't want to say that I regret being friends with her. Like
Oh
no,
yeah.
I was glad I was friends with her. It's just that I don't know. It's weird that how people change in high school
Hmm.
to like when you were like in elementary.